The landscape has completely changed with regards to diversity and inclusion, especially as a gay man. I didn't see that growing up. You know, the only people that would represent my community were people like Larry Grayson, John Inman, Leslie Crowther. You know, they were old-fashioned, very camp game show hosts.
Yeah, yeah.
But now, you know, you have people that macho, I call him macho because he's my friend, Gareth Thomas will represent a different type of gay man. And you can be whatever gay man or lesbian woman or trans person that you want to be.
Delighted to say that H is with us this morning. Shwmae, bore da?
Shwmae, sut ydych chi? Ti'n iawn?
Very good to see you, H. Thanks for joining us. We absolutely loved listening to this show you've done. We heard you there talking about the influences you had when you were growing up. What was it like being a young man in Wales, coming to terms with your sexuality?
Well, when I was growing up, as you've just heard, there was zero representation. I mean, certainly nobody was out loud and proud. And times have changed a lot. We've come a long, long way. But we've still got a long way to go, which is why we celebrate Pride Month.
OK, so let's talk about that. What is the reason that the celebrations are so vast? I mean, I love every moment of it. but why is it important to you, especially?
It's totally important because, I mean, at the start of Steps, I wasn't confident who I was. I definitely wasn't out to my friends and my family, which is ridiculous because Steps were the gayest band in the world. And we probably played at every Pride imaginable. Pride Month traditionally is June, but we celebrate Pride all year long. It's really important for us as a community to have that awareness, diversity and representation all year long. It's just one massive, beautiful, colourful party in June.
Yeah. On the show, you meet so many different people, as you mentioned, very diverse, from very different backgrounds. And you look into the history, well, the LGBT history in Wales, don't you?
Yeah, I did a deep dive into LGBT Welsh history and uncovered loads of really interesting facts. I interviewed a Welsh-speaking presenter called Nia Medi. She was the first Welsh lesbian presenter on Radio Cymru. I also wanted to represent all parts of the LGBT community. So I interviewed Reverend Sarah Jones, who's a transgender vicar. Also, Anne Bynan, who was a politician who invented the Welsh word for a gay person, which is called hoyo.
Hoyo, that's right. Yeah.
So it was fantastic.
Yeah. I love all of this. But this is very important to you, though, personally as well, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. When I was a child, I never had any representation. There was no education. So I have gone into all of my local schools. I've done diversity talks and inclusion talks. We've put on Pride in my local town called Cowbridge. Last year, we had a week-long of events and we raised £20,000, and all of that has gone back into schools to train teachers and have workshops for children. It's just been mind-blowing, the response. And you know what? What I've learned from this as well is that young people don't need educating. It's the adult, it's the parents that need to catch up.
Yeah. Do you know, I was just thinking, you mentioned about Gareth Thomas, Welsh rugby legend, earlier on, and his story. He grew up just outside of Bridgend. I can't even imagine, knowing that area like I do, that rugby community, what it would have been like for him as a gay man to come out. It was almost impossible for him. I know you relate to that quite a bit. What advice would you give now to you know, young guys who are in similar situations in that part of the country when it comes to their identity and their sexuality?
Do you know, I know Gareth very well because he's now from Bridgend. He's my neighbour, so I see him on a daily basis. What I would say is that you will find your tribe. You know, just take one day at a time. Just know that you are loved and you belong. You will absolutely find your people.
Lovely.
That's
well
perfect.
said, H.
Thank you.
Good to see. Hey,
lovely.
don't go anywhere, by the way, because we've got a step song for Strictly Fitness at the end of the show. Lovely, dedicated
Have
to you, my
we
friend.
now?
Oh yes, you
I'm
wait.
excited by that.
We'll show you how not to do it.